Hello, my name is Obaid Alorni. A hedgehog is any of the spiny mammals of the subfamily Erinacinae and the order Erinacea. There are 17 species of hedgehog in 5 genera, found through parts of Europe, Asia, Africa, Arabian Peninsula and New Zealand. By introduction, there are no hedgehogs native to Australia, and no living species native to the Americas. Hedgehogs share distant ancestry with shrews, order Sauricidae, with chimnures possibly being the intermediate link, and have changed little over the last 15 million years. Like many of the first mammals, they have adapted to a nocturnal, insectivorous way of life. Hedgehogs' spiny protection resembles that of the unrelated rodent porcupines and monotreme echidnas. The name hedgehog came into use around the year 1450, derived from the Middle English hedgehog, from hag, heg, hedge, because it frequents hedgerows, and hog, hog, from its pig-like snout. Other names include urchin, hedge pig and fur. Physical description. Hedgehogs are easily recognized by their spines, which are hollow hairs made stiff with keratin. Their spines are not poisonous or barbed and, unlike the quills of a porcupine, cannot easily be removed from the hedgehog. However, spines normally come out when a hedgehog sheds baby spines and replaces them with adult spines. This is called quilling. When under extreme stress or during sickness, a hedgehog can also lose spines. A defense that all species of hedgehogs possess is the ability to roll into a tight ball, causing all of the spines to point outwards. However, its effectiveness depends on the number of spines, and since some of the desert hedgehogs evolved to carry less weight, they are much more likely to try to run away and sometimes even attack the intruder, trying to ram into the intruder with its spines, and rolling as a last resort. This results in a different number of predators for different species, while forest hedgehogs have relatively few. Primarily birds, especially owls, and ferrets. Smaller species like the long-eared hedgehog are preyed on by foxes, wolves and mongooses. Hedgehogs are primarily nocturnal, although, depending on the species, they may be more or less active during the day. The hedgehog sleeps for a large portion of the daytime either under cover of bush, grass, rock or in a hole in the ground. Again, different species can have slightly different habits, but in general hedgehogs dig dens for shelter. All wild hedgehogs can hibernate, although not all do. Hibernation depends on temperature, species, and abundance of food. The hedgehog's back is made up of 2 large muscles, which control the positioning of its quills. There are about 5,000 to 6,500 quills on the average hedgehog, and these are durable on the outside, while being filled with air pockets on the inside. The hedgehog uses its quills to protect itself from predators, using muscles which draw their quilled skin to cover their full body, and pulling in the parts of their bodies not covered, such as their head, feet, and belly. This form of defense is the hedgehog's most successful, but is usually their last resort. Hedgehogs are fairly vocal and communicate through a combination of grunts, snuffles and or squeals, depending on species. Self-anointing hedgehogs occasionally perform a ritual called anointing. When the animal encounters a new scent, it will lick and bite the source, then form a scented froth in its mouth and paste it on its spines with its tongue. The specific purpose of this ritual is unknown, but some experts believe anointing camouflages the hedgehog with the new scent of the area and provides a possible poison or source of infection to predators poked by their spines. Anointing is sometimes also called anting because of a similar behavior in birds. Similar to opossums, mice and moles, hedgehogs have some natural immunity against snake venom due to the protein erinacine in the animal's muscular system, although it is only available in small percentage, and a rattlesnake bite, for example, will kill the hedgehog anyway. a young European hedgehog. Although traditionally classified in the now abandoned order Insectivora, hedgehogs are not exclusively insectivores but are almost omnivorous. Hedgehogs feed on insects, snails, frogs and toads, snakes, bird eggs, carrion, mushrooms, grass roots, berries, melons and watermelons. Berries constitute a major part of an Afghan hedgehog's diet in early spring after hibernation. Reproduction and lifespan. A foraging European hedgehog depending on the species. The gestation period is 35 to 58 days. The average litter is 3 to 4 newborns for larger species and 5 to 6 for smaller ones. As with many animals, it is not unusual for an adult male hedgehog to kill newborn males. Hedgehogs have a relatively long lifespan for their size. Larger species of hedgehogs live 4 to 7 years in the wild. Some have been recorded up to 16 years, and smaller species live 2 to 4 years, 4 to 7 in captivity, compared to a mouse at 2 years and a large rat at 3 to 5 years. Lack of predators and controlled diet contribute to a longer lifespan in captivity, 8 to 10 years depending on size. Hedgehogs are born blind. The hedgehogs are birthed with a protective membrane covering their quills, which dries and shrinks over the next several hours. The infants are born with quills beneath the skin, like pimples, and pass the skin after they have been cleaned. It is illegal to own a hedgehog as a pet in some U.S. states and some Canadian municipalities, and breeding licenses are required. No such restrictions exist in most European countries with the exception of Scandinavia. However, in the UK wild hedgehogs are considered endangered and it is illegal to keep one as a pet.